Are we live? Hello, we are.
Hi,
Hello,
everybody. Welcome
welcome.
to eRank.
Yeah, welcome to another Thursday eRank. This will be our live Q&A, but also I thought it's a really good time for us to have a little discussion about Christmas, the holidays, all that jazz, because
Coming soon.
it's coming frighteningly soon, and I think there might be a load of people who this is potentially their first Christmas or haven't really had a big Christmas on Etsy, so don't know what to expect or don't know what they need to be doing, because I was just sitting looking going, I really need to start to getting some ordering in and some supplies and some packing materials and all the things.
And for those who don't know, this is Pam Duffy, and I'm Bryan.
Yeah, Starla's looking different today. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This nice goatee.
Yep.
A little whiter, too.
Like yes, if it's your first time here, let's do the stuff like we're professionals. If it's your first time here, we are here same time every week here in this YouTube channel. If you have pressing questions, you can ask them here in this chat. But also every Wednesday, we have a post in the eRank Facebook group, which you're about to join from the link in the description, where you can jump ahead of the curve and get your questions in there, because you'll have a horrible habit of nothing for the first half hour and then 200 million questions at the end.
Which we don't mind, just earlier the better. That way we can get to answering all of your questions.
Yep. But yeah, let us know in the chat if and what you've been thinking of for the Christmas season, if you've been thinking of it, or if you're really annoyed at me now for suggesting it.
All right, so what do you want to do first? You want to hit the Facebook group? You want to answer that question? What are you feeling?
Yes, let's hit the Facebook group, because I did just promise that we answered those questions, and otherwise I'll forget.
Oh, sorry.
That's all the cats scared away for this evening. Okay, so we did have a question in the Facebook group from Kathy asking, please clarify. I thought to know, can guests leave reviews? If yes, how can I encourage them to do so? I do get a lot of guests, 557 sales with only 143 reviews. That's not a bad review rate, actually.
That's what, 1 in 4? That's not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends on your type of shop, your type of niche, to what your review rate's going to be. But on average, talking people who are doing really, really well in shops that have, like if you're doing custom work or talking to a lot of people, 1 in 3 is usually a really good rate. So I don't know what your shop is, but 1 in 4 is pretty good, especially for lots of guests.
Yeah, and you are correct that guests cannot leave reviews. They can leave a review if they then sign up with Etsy using the same email address. Then any order that they made as a guest will be imported into their account. But if they just remain a guest, then they are unable to leave a review.
Yep. And as for what you can do, there's not much you can do to get people to leave reviews apart from amazing customer service. You've got to think, if you were going to mail someone and ask for a review, how's that adding benefit to them? All your communications and things, customer service is about adding benefit to them. You can throw in something at the end like, hope it got to you, hope you love it, you let me know all of this, and if you do love it, here's how you can leave a review. But in general, honestly, Etsy bugs people enough to leave reviews. I don't mention it at all, because you'll see, if you look at some people's reviews on Etsy, you'll see it saying like, basically, I just did this to shut up Etsy, it's annoying me, kind of thing.
Etsy does remind people, they do send an email after the expected delivery date saying, hey, if you like the item, go ahead and review it. And there's also a persistent notification that people will see when they log into Etsy that will stay there for 100 days until they leave a review or that 100 days expires. So people are prompted to leave reviews. If you're sending a physical product, have your business card in there or a thank you card that also says, hey, it really helps out if you leave a review or something along those lines. But some people just don't leave reviews. Some people don't want to attach their name to a shop that they're not associated with. Some people just have you left a review for every movie that you've watched, every restaurant you've been to, every product you purchased? Some people just don't leave reviews, and we feel it more because we're small businesses, so we want those reviews and we want all that positive comments coming in. But that's just not everyone leaves a review. So having a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 review rate is definitely really, really good. That's higher than most. A lot of shops you'll see 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people leave a review. So 1 in 4, not bad at all.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. I know, especially, well, that shop had quite a lot of sales, so not doing too bad at all. But especially when you're very little, it's like you've had 2, 3 sales. Like, when do I get a review? I need a review, especially because Etsy tells us that reviews are important, and they are, but there's nothing we can do to make people leave reviews. I confess I'm absolutely terrible for leaving reviews. I always forget, and then Etsy keeps prompting me and it makes me annoyed, and I don't do it because they're telling me to do it because I'm that bad a person. So.
And that's why sometimes it's good not to push as well. Etsy already reminds people, if you start pushing, then you have the potential of them leaving a negative review just because they're annoyed.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, we've got a couple of questions in here, so we can dive into them and then maybe think about Christmas. But Malcolm's asking, can eRank search GoImagine data?
Not yet. GoImagine is still relatively new. They've only been around for a couple of years. They've been focusing more on getting sellers in, but not really buyers. eRank is working with other marketplaces to get their data. If you go to the trend reports, under the trending section, you'll see keyword data and trend buzz from different marketplaces. I believe Amazon's there, eBay. There's even stuff like Walmart and Home Depot for those that sell on those networks. GoImagine is not currently there. I believe Teachers Pay Teachers is there, which is good.
Yes.
But slowly we're adding more. It's just a matter of getting a funnel for that data. At the moment, GoImagine does not have that access for tools like eRank, so we don't have that access yet. But they are working. They did announce that they are working on making that data available so that we can make it available.
Yeah, well, there's 2 things there. It's like to connect up at the back end to have a full eRank for GoImagine, which would be amazing. Other things like some of the trend data, a lot of sites, the problem with that is there's just not enough data, basically. So as GoImagine gets bigger, then hopefully that's something we'll be able to do. And if you've been following Starla's been talking with GoImagine. Unfortunately, I can't look at GoImagine being in the UK. Yep.
They're
So
in the
we
US
can't.
only.
Yeah, but it's definitely, it seems like a good extra to have just now. If you're a seller on Etsy and you want to diversify, sounds like a good place to go to start with.
And as Pam mentioned, the traffic is very different. So having more traffic is better. Currently, Etsy has, what is it, over 9 million active sellers and 96 million active buyers. 96 million active buyers. GoImagine, I believe the CEO said they have 9,000 active sellers and 60,000 active buyers. So there's a little bit of it's a much smaller marketplace at the moment, but as they get more data and as they open up the funnels, it's 100% guaranteed that it will be added. Anthony's already mentioned that he's looking into that. So,
yep. And Kat, your one follows as well. Can you link Folksy to eRank? For those that don't know, Folksy is the UK version. It's been around for a very, very long time. I am actually speaking to Folksy, but it's the same thing. They just don't have the right amount of data yet for us to be able to show anything. It is certainly something, if they get bigger in the future, eRank would be absolutely happy to work with companies that are doing good things for sellers. So yeah, we'd absolutely love to. But there's another thing: if you're in the UK and you want an alternative, definitely. Well, neither of these at the minute in time are alternatives. They're not big enough for most people. It would be an addition to, but it's definitely good to have more than just Etsy under your belt, I think.
Yeah. And in Canada, we have Maven Fair, mavenfair.ca. Every country has their own little thing, and there are up and coming marketplaces as well. But at the moment, Etsy's the biggest. That's why that's the focus, of course. But as other marketplaces get bigger, why wouldn't we work with them?
Absolutely, yes. Okay, talking about Christmas, here's a good one. Mushahove, sorry, I shouldn't do names because I can't do them. Does releasing Christmas listings now help them build traction for the holiday season?
Yeah. People started shopping for holidays. Like people started shopping for this year's Christmas around December 26th of last year. People are always shopping for the holidays. So the earlier you can get them up, the better. You missed the whole Christmas in July thing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but that's just something to think about for next year. But the sooner you can get your listings up, the better. You want them up for between 30 and 90 days before the hot selling season. And that's not the hot selling season for Christmas. December 25th is not December 25th. That's what you don't need to work on. It's Black Friday, which I believe is November 29th this year. I don't have it in front of me. It's something like that.
Yeah, it's the last Thursday in November.
Last Friday.
Last Friday. Yeah, yes.
Thanksgiving is the Thursday and then Friday.
Yes.
Because that's the busiest time of year on Etsy. That one day, or that one weekend, really, but that one day, Black Friday, is the biggest shopping day on Etsy and on every marketplace. So you want your stuff up about 30 to 60 days before that, at least. So that would be end of October, end of September, somewhere in between September, October is when you should be getting your listings up, so that Etsy understands what they are, so that people who are shopping slightly earlier can shop for them, also so that people can add them to their favorites list into their carts. Because it's not just about grabbing their attention and then buying right away, because at this time of year, a lot of people are making lists. And so you just want to have your stuff on somebody's list, because they're more likely to buy something from one of their lists than just randomly searching and hitting the buy button. So the earlier you can get it up, the better.
Yeah, and build traction. Again, it's a very cool thing. It's not just about Etsy learning about your item, but if you list your things 2 days before the very busiest period, everybody else who's aiming for the same keywords as you has had several months of giving Etsy good data, of people finding them in search, clicking on them, hearting them, and buying them. So if you jump in at the bottom, yeah, you get that little boost for having a new listing, but it's nowhere near as big a boost as if Bryan's been sitting there for the past 2 months making 200 sales a day. You're not going to compete with that. I did just want to show one little thing. This is my eRank dashboard. I brought this up. I thought this would be the case. We have this trending on Etsy panel on the right-hand side, the keywords for the past week. The 5th most searched term on eRank on Etsy this past week was Christmas. So if you want to know when people start looking for Christmas, they're not just looking for Christmas, they are very highly. It's only just behind Halloween, and
Halloween's on its way down already. Like if you haven't already had your Halloween stuff up for a month or two, its sales are going to start dwindling because that's already on its way out.
Yep. But Halloween is huge on Etsy. It's a surprise. It's a cool thing.
It sure is. One other reason to have your listings up earlier is because of tools like Google Shopping. When you put a listing up, it's not instantly on Google Shopping. It usually takes a week or two for it to even populate over there, and Google still has to understand who to show it to. So by having your listings up earlier, it means that it can actually, it's not just for Etsy, but it's across the entire internet, that it's spreading around and you could just gain more traction.
Absolutely. Yes. So yes, if you're thinking of Christmas things, it's really do well. What should they be doing just now, Brian? Instead of me just telling you.
Um, make sure that everything is proper in your listings. That's the first thing that you should be doing before even thinking of the holidays. This should be done all year, but especially coming into the holiday season. Double check your tags, double check your titles, double check your pricing. On eRank, we have a profit calculator. That's a good place to start, just to make sure that your pricing is right, that that you're in and about making the profit margins that you're expecting. Using the keyword tool for the superstar keywords for those listings, check to see the pricing of your competitors. So dealing with your pricing is very important, because as we get closer to the holidays, you're not going to want to fiddle with it. Not because oh, Etsy might not pick it up. It's just you should be dealing with orders, not fiddling with your listings at that point. Your photos, make sure that your photos are bright. Make sure that when people are searching for your product, so actually open up a new browser and search for your product and just see what other products are around it. Make sure that your photos are standing out, that your main photo is different than all the photos around it. You can add Christmas elements to your main photo. Photos are not an SEO field, so it doesn't actually impact your rank directly. So use that indirect impact by making your listings more holiday themed, by adding some tinsel or some garland or something to your photos, just so that when people see it in search, it looks like a brand new listing. It looks like something fresh and holiday like, so they're going to get that click. And as they get those clicks and as they get those sales, it'll move up in rank. So that's definitely a positive. Even if it doesn't have a direct impact, positive or negative, it can have that indirect impact. That's what I got off the top of my head. What do you got?
Yeah. Make sure your listings are the best they can be is great advice. Couple of other things for us smaller shops as well, but look at what keywords were working for you before. Do a bit of keyword research to see what keywords are good, and look at your listings, but don't necessarily be changing everything. I have a few listings. I have one thing, a couple of cat bookmarks that are really popular at Christmas, but they start picking up usually about now when people are searching for Halloween cats. They're dead most of the rest of the year. But if I went, oh no, this listing hasn't sold well, I need to change it, I could kill my traffic for the next half of the year. What you have to do is look at and say, why isn't this working? Is this not working because this keyword's not really, it is a bit seasonal just now? So have some real strategy into why you're changing your listings, or maybe not changing them and making new ones. And get everything listed. There's no point not having your listings listed just now. They need to be up there. If you're gonna, a good thing, Etsy's always pushing for sales. You don't necessarily have to do sales, but if you've got stuff you want rid of, put it up just now. This coming up the time of year is when the buyers are more likely to buy. Your conversion rates are likely to increase because people are going to stop browsing and start just buying. And the stuff you've had for years that nobody's even looked at, that sometimes just goes. Like stuff you thought you'd never get rid of can just go. So get everything listed. If you just want rid of stuff, it's the time to put up a wee sale if that's what you want, for the things, maybe it doesn't fit in with the feel of your shop or anything anymore.
It's still a little bit early for this, but if you have a photo space free, having a little text thing wishing people happy holidays and letting them know your holiday deadlines. You want to let people know, and letting them know early is good, because that means that they're more likely to pull the trigger on buying something now because, oh, I don't want to forget to buy it before those days. And having deadlines like clearly mentioned is a very good thing. Had that happen before. Know the countries that you sell to and when approximately the postal service is going to cut it off. They usually let us know sometime in September or beginning of October when their holiday deadlines are. Give yourself a week or two more than that, plus the time to make the product. So make sure that your holiday deadlines are set up in a way that customers understand your deadlines and when to order things, but also give yourself time. Give yourself the time. The worst case scenario is you have it all there and don't make that many sales, and you're able to just knock stuff out, and then you could potentially have a sale to knock out even more products. Best case scenario, you are way too busy and those deadlines are going to fly by like you don't even know, and it can get very frustrating. And that also is a good thing to remember, is don't be scared of vacation mode. That's one thing that I messed up in 2020, where we didn't run a sale. In 2019 we ran a sale for Black Friday. We had a great weekend, and we decided 2020 it was insane, so we didn't run a sale, and we just let everybody shopping, so we just let it go. But it went too far. Orders just kept coming in, and we were like, okay, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. And we did, but it was probably the most stressful time of our life. For like 3 weeks, we were sleeping maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours a day just to knock out those orders. Don't kill yourself. If you see the orders coming in, the two options you have are adjust your pricing, raise your prices so that you're at least making more, and it kind of dissuades some people from buying, and use vacation mode. In 2021, we anticipated that, and we actually blew up at the beginning of November. So the week leading up to Black Friday, we actually used vacation mode. We were open for the weekend, then we put ourselves back on vacation mode, just because that one weekend was enough to suffice, and we knew what would happen if we did not put our shop on hold. We went through that. We didn't want to do it again. I know that, Pam, you use vacation mode very, very much through the holidays as well.
For that period, yes. The past few years, I usually put my shop on vacation from the beginning of December. It's just not worth it after then. And that is an interesting point, though. If you're sitting going, I only have a little shop, it's not a big deal. Now, Bryan has a massive shop, so you would expect he's going to get a whole lot of orders. I don't have a very massive shop, but I have gone several years. I've had maybe 1 or 2 sales a month, 1 or 2 sales a week, and then it hits a point in the month coming up to Christmas that the sellers go crazy, and I think I've had 100, 200 sales in a day.
Whoa.
Yeah, I make everything. They can take several hours each. So if you don't say to yourself, here is a cutoff date that I can't be getting more orders, and it's really difficult because some years are more quiet than others. Some years I haven't got that, and I'm still having to say to myself, I still can't go right up to the limit, because if I keep my shop open, what's going to happen if I get those couple of hundred sales suddenly?
What happens when everybody else goes on vacation mode and you're the only shop available, and so everybody's buying from you?
Yes. So it's definitely a thing to work out for. I would be looking at the dates, see how much you can make, and also figure out, how much supplies you need without spending more than you can afford, but get in some supplies, get a little bit of stuff made in advance if that's something you can do. Make sure, I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, make sure you have all your packing stuff just now, like last week. Order that in, because if it's going to be a good year for sales, packing stuff is going to run out and it's going to be hard to get hold of. Yeah,
it's not just you'll run out. Sometimes the shipping companies actually run out. Uline is famous for running out of certain box sizes. For those of us in North America, they're famous for running out of certain box sizes, or running out of the thickness of foam that you use and stuff like that, because they just can't keep up. And if they run out and you run out, that's always fun. Then you become Amazon. You're shipping a tiny thing in a massive box.
Yes. I think it was last year or the year before. I'm getting confused with dates, but we'll say it was last year. In the UK, the post office decided to have a strike in the run up to Christmas. That doesn't just impact you sending your stuff out, but to get your supplies coming in as well. Everything was an absolute nightmare. So yes, when I heard that was coming, I was like, I'm not even doing Black Friday. My shop is closing. let's not with this.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult though. I understand, like, if your shop is what you need to make the sales to pay your bills, it's really hard to say, I'm going to turn off my shop at this point.
But at the
But
same time, the negative reviews that you can get from the upset customers that did not receive their package in time for the holidays, I mean, it's not even worth it at a certain point.
exactly. And you can tell your followers in advance, this is the date I'm stopping. Tell your followers if you are or you're not going to have a sale, so they don't have to sit around waiting for you to have your sale. You tell them first come, first serve. Another cool thing that I did one year, but I keep forgetting to do, is just to plan in the number of slots. Like, in this month, I'm going to sell this many and no more. And you can have it in your announcement, only 10 slots left. And stick to it, because it's really cool if people are coming and going, don't know about that. And then they come in at like the 20th of the month and it's like, no more for this month. book now for your next month's slot.
And usually after that cutoff date, I'll put in the message to buyers. If I still have my shop open, I'll put in the message to buyers saying, hey, just so you know, you ordered after this date. We're going to try to get it to you by the holiday season, but we can't guarantee that. If you like to cancel, we'll cancel your order. No questions asked. Just letting you know it's not necessarily possible. You want to make sure that they really understand your processing time, the shipping time, and just keep everybody in the loop. Communication is one of the most important things in that customer seller relationship. So keep that communication open and let them know what your situation is.
Absolutely. Right, we'll just have a quick look. For those that don't know, that's the right button. Etsy have started their 2024 festive season hub in the handbooks. This is pretty cool. When I say cool, it doesn't mean that it's got good advice, but it's a cool idea that they're doing it. Every week they're dropping a little bit of advice. I'm supposed to not be salty on this channel. But what I think is really cool is every week you can go in and think, oh yeah, I should be doing something about Christmas.
Yeah.
So they started, when did they start? In August. Yeah, we're in September now. Yep. So join our upcoming sales events. At least they tell us the dates of the sales. And check out the Marketplace Insight report for the early festive trends. That is always cool. I have to dig through that a bit more myself, but to know what likely trends are coming up, maybe give you ideas. Not necessarily ideas of exact things to copy, but if you're taking some festive themed photographs, think, what are the trends that maybe you could style them up in a trendy way. So the first week, this was a while ago, the Etsy Insider beta, they told us about that. If anybody's missed that, that should be starting soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I got a notification on my dashboard about that today.
Ah, cool.
Should be sometime soon.
Yeah, so that's a new subscription test they're going to be doing with buyers, so we'll see how that goes. Yes, they already said this was 2-3 weeks ago. Gather ideas for new festive inventory. Absolutely. Getting ideas for new stuff. I actually just did in the summer. I had some new ideas, so I'll let you know in January how they did. But it's always good to be planning ahead for your next big thing, because your top seller isn't going to be your top seller forever. Things change over time. Week 2, Etsy suggested register for Etsy Up for people who haven't. The first Etsy Up is on the 10th of September.
Next Saturday, I believe that is. No, I don't know what day it is.
Next Tuesday.
There you go.
And download the seller app. They like people to be using the seller app, and follow us on Instagram. yeah, here's the cool thing: add sustainability attributes to your listings if they're relevant. Buyers do like to know what good your items do, what kind of eco-conscious type things you've got. So nice to think of. And attract window shoppers with festive merchandising. I really should do festive photo shoot. By a festive photo shoot, I'm thinking of Halloween themed, to be honest.
I'm thinking that too.
We're terrible at Christmas. It's just all going to be pumpkins and black cats and everything.
Sure will.
Okay, this week we spoke about the Etsy search visibility page last week, but if anyone has any further questions, I think we've all been reading up on this. Oh, and yeah, here we go. I didn't know what the Etsy Up was. That's cool. So on September the 10th, that Etsy Up is with Maxwell Tang from the Etsy Search and Ads team. So that's the one that we want to be listening to. So yeah, put it in your calendars, guys. I'm sure we will all be watching it, and next Thursday we'll be talking about it as well. So, and the advice: double check your processing time. Yep, can't argue with that. In both directions. I think mine just now are out a little bit long. I set it for a long processing time when I was really busy, and I forgot to set it back. But the other way around, if your items take a few hours to create and you're saying next day shipping, think to yourself, what happens if you have 10 orders in that day or 20 orders? Maybe give yourself a bit of wiggle room, because I have also been like Bryan and gone a couple of weeks on the 2 hours of sleep because all this needs to be done.
Yeah.
Check your return policies. Indeed, that as well. I would say, as well as your return policies, let's see, that's enough for you. As well as your return policies, be thinking of planning what you're going to be doing. If your customers are a bit of a nightmare, how are you going to deal with it? Because if you've got the plan in place, like simple things, if a customer's unhappy and just leaves a bad review instead of contacting you, think in advance how you're going to deal with that, rather than getting surprised by it when it happens and sort of behaving negatively, which I totally understand. But if you've already thought through, this might happen, the customer might not understand how to contact me, they might just leave a bad review. So you just think in your head, okay, if I was that customer, or if it was my mum that was that customer, I would prefer they just contact me nicely instead of, hey, idiot, why did you leave me that review type thing.
Having snippets ready, or even just in a notebook, right? Come up with every possible case scenario, both positive and negative, and come up with a response. Just so that you already have it ready to go, and it's one button, and you could just send that off. That way, you don't have to think when you're already stressed, because stress thinking, it never ends up well.
Yep. Yes, that's it. If you've already got the reply, then you don't even have to use any mental energy. As Deb from eRank, she used to always talk about, when we're talking about these things, if she gets wound up by someone, she'll go and flush the toilet. But I prefer to go away for a walk, but you could just take time. If you read a review, if you read a reply or a message or something and it winds you up, get yourself out of there first of all and get in a better frame of mind. Because I think we've all read in the forums, some people's responses to customers, they come in assuming all customers are scammers and they talk horribly to them.
Yeah, they come in hot.
Exactly. And if you behave like that, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. Your customer's not going to come back nicely to you. So you're going to end up with a horrible customer. Whereas I've had some, their first messages sounded vile, But when you just answer them professionally, they kind of walk themselves back, and it's like, oh yeah, I've just had such a horrible experience with sellers in the past. So.
It's like trying to yell at a puppy. If you come in with those eyes and just be like, I'm sorry, I really apologize for what happened. How can they keep yelling?
I know. Could you yell at that face? Could you? I'll ask your lady about that. She'll probably have different answers.
We have not had a fight in 7 years living together. We don't raise our voices to each other. It's amazing. It's the best ever.
You guys are revolting.
Oh, we are sickening. We are, if people aren't happy, we are not the people to have around. We're just way too happy and gross. And one thing, I believe I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, one thing to remember is Hanukkah this year is at the end of December. So if you do sell any Judaic items, or you sell gifts for Hanukkah, or anything that can be gifted or used during Hanukkah, Black Friday is now going to be absolutely amazing for that. It hasn't been for a few years. It's always been like either end of November or beginning of December, and so shopping had to be done way before that. Now you can actually hit that market, which is absolutely amazing. So
yeah, that's
get
good
on
to
those
know.
items too.
Yeah. Yes, it's not just Christmas. There's a whole load of holiday things. Yeah, just as I spoke of Debbie, there she is. Be sure and include a holiday type image if you can. Yeah, we really should. I actually have, they're down at my side here. I won't open them because they're in a rustly thing. I have a ton of like tiny Christmas trees to set up to stage things. I just never get round to it. So that's actually something we were talking about before we came live, is just having a space to take photos and things. It would be nice to have a little photography room that was just, you just walked in and took the picture. But yeah,
Not
most of the
everyone
rest
has that ability. A lot of us have to have like a giant pop-up book where it's just like there's nothing there, or like this is your table, and then it just folds out and a tree pops up. Like that's how you have to do it. That's how most of us are. That's how most of our setups have to be, is just it is what it is when it is. Otherwise, that's the laundry room.
Yeah, we do the best we can, which does make it harder. It should make it easier to be able to say, okay, I'm taking my photos, I can Christmasify this one. But it does. It's like, I've got a nice white background. That's good enough for today.
Yeah. And you'll miss one item, or like one photo will be slightly blurry, and you've already taken the whole setup down. So now you have to rebuild the setup just to take the photo again. Not fun.
Yep. Tamara already sold 2 Christmas listings, their digital downloads. Yay.
Digital sellers should be doing good starting last month and this month, because they're selling things to potentially other sellers that are making stuff. And they need to get all their products ready to then list, to then sell. So now is a great time to be marketing your digital downloads for sure.
Exactly. As a digital seller, you're almost a season ahead of everybody else. You've got to be, you're almost getting ready for Mother's Day, not quite, but
But also, as a digital seller, that also means that you're going to be selling right up until December 24th, because people that will just do it themselves and forgot to get an item, they forgot that they needed this, that, or the other, they're getting it last minute and making their item that night. So you have like the biggest span, but you also have to be marketing ahead and before, and it's craziness.
Yeah. Marketing's all over the place, but also you don't have to shut down in the beginning of December. You can sell whenever. Yes, I miss doing digital. That was definitely a fun way to be.
Definitely advantages.
Brett, make a cute little holiday video. Yes, yes, great idea. That's not only good for Etsy, your social media marketing, so much more important for, if you can do a really cute, simple little video that people will love, they'll share it, it'll go to more people, other people will hear about your shop for free if it's super cute.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got to actually think about doing that. Yes.
Especially with the holidays coming up, Reels and TikToks. That's where the marketing is.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you're doing them, put the videos everywhere else that takes videos. Pinterest loves it. You're on YouTube, do
YouTube
YouTube as
Shorts.
well.
Yep.
Yep.
There's no point, just like we were talking about with Etsy versus Go Imagine, it's good to be everywhere. Even if your main focus is one, even if your main focus is doing Instagram Reels, still put it everywhere, because why wouldn't you? Your target audience, some of your target audience might be more TikTok users or might be more YouTube users. You don't know where they are necessarily. So it's better to be everywhere. Even if your focus is on one thing, you have the content, you might as well put it everywhere.
Yeah, you're so right. I've said in the past, and I still hold with it, you probably should focus on trying to build up one, like maybe learn all the rules, the SEO, what's liked on one platform. But there's millions of schedulers out there that you can just, the rest of your videos, just say, okay, put them up there. And then sometime when you've got a bit more time, come back and look and go, oh, hang on, TikTok actually did quite good.
Yep. Amanda, oh, we didn't answer that one.
Oh, so yeah, I pulled it up.
Amanda
Yeah.
said, should you increase your processing days or remove a work day to buffer? Definitely increase your processing time. If you need to, then do it. Don't second guess yourself when it comes to processing time, because if you ship out a day early, that's perfectly fine. So increasing that actually helps you kind of give you that extra buffer zone and set expectations for if you do fall behind. And keep on it. If you notice that you are falling further behind, then increase it a little bit more. If you find that orders aren't coming in, decrease it a little bit. Keep playing with it. Check every couple days just to see where you are throughout that really busy season, just to make sure that you're not overextending yourself, but so that you're not making customers wait too long either. So kind of keep playing with those numbers and see what works for you, but keep an eye on them for sure.
Yeah, it is a balance. I was going to say I've heard of a customer once, but you very rarely hear of a customer complaining that you ship earlier than you said you were going to. I've heard of one once. People are weird.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah. But of course, having too long processing time will put people off a little bit. You know, if you've said you've got a 6-week processing time and you actually don't, it's only a week, people are, when it comes to the end of November, people aren't going to be buying from you so much.
Yeah.
I say so much. People will still buy and then go, where's my item? I wanted it this week.
You are
Because
not wrong.
Yes. But yes, if you go too long, it'll put people off. But at the same time, if you go too short, you're going to get a ton of bad reviews and you're also going to stress yourself out.
Speaking of bad reviews, I believe the next one. Yep. Yeah, I dropped from almost a perfect 4.95 to 4.55 last December, because people are anxious to get their items in time. Even if they didn't give themselves enough time, they believe that you should be accommodating that. A lot of people do have that Amazon mentality of same day or next day arrival. Even Amazon doesn't guarantee that in the holiday season. Even Amazon is 2 to 3 days. That's how bad things can get. And that's why setting those expectations is very important, because buyers are not there is no remorse when a Christmas gift does not arrive in time and they have to deal with an upset child or an upset spouse or an upset somebody. They will not hesitate to leave a negative review. So always set those expectations, because it's not just for the negative review, because you want to avoid a negative review. You also don't want to disappoint people. You want people to get your stuff and absolutely love it, and love it in the time that they wanted to love it. So yeah, it's one of those.
Yes. But also be proactive if you can see things are happening.
Yep.
Even if you give yourself plenty of wiggle room, postage is not guaranteed and there's going to be some late. So, or I have had people buy late and go, I know it's not going to be there. If you can go above and beyond. Now, Etsy does have the gift teaser thing, which is much better, but you could also where I make like custom things, so I'm making something specifically for them, I might have already made it, but it won't get to them in time. So I could ship them. I could email them a photograph of what they're getting, so at least they have something to give someone. So if you see shipping's running late or something, get in touch with the people and say, here's this. It's beyond my control, but here's how I'm going to hopefully help you, because we understand, like, if that's the main present for somebody, it's a bit rubbish if they don't have it.
Yeah. Again, it might not be possible depending on how many orders you have, but if you notice that there are shipping delays, like just kind of check one or two of your orders just to see if they're moving along normally. If you do notice shipping delays, there's absolutely nothing wrong with writing out just a copy and paste type message that you can send to everyone with open order and say, hey, just want to let you know, even if it will still arrive by Christmas, it's actually good to have that open communication. Just say, just so you know, I've noticed a delay of a day or two at this particular location, so I just want to let you know that it might be arriving late. People absolutely love that type of communication. People don't like extra, like way too much communication, but if you're informing them of a possible delay, or you're getting ahead of something before it actually happens, that can never be a bad thing. You will generally get a positive review. Even if they're upset, you will generally still get a positive review because you were on top of it and you showed that you cared about about the gift that they were trying to give. You cared about their item as much as they care about the item, so you win.
Yeah, I mean, that's what customer support is. It's mainly what you do when things don't go as well as you wanted them to. And that can include things that are absolutely out of your control, but you still want to deal with them. That can include customers are not as pleasant as you hoped they were. So, yeah. But it also, I do want to take the minute to say, like, if customers are nasty or whatever, we can be nice without being pushovers. The other thing, I see people either dive in and they're, oh, hate you, nasty customer, or, oh no, you emailed me, therefore I should have to refund you. It's like, be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. You want to be professional, but don't be a pushover. Don't let someone walk all over you just because it's the holiday season. If they're coming in hot, like, bring the situation down, but don't just instantly go, okay, I'll refund you just so that I don't get their review. Don't completely bend over backwards for people that don't deserve you bending over backwards. If they come in really nice, apologize, whatever. If they're really nice, you can do something extra for them. If they're not so nice, you don't have to cave in just because you're worried about a review or you're worried about what Etsy will think or whatever the situation. Don't go against your policies. Don't do something you wouldn't normally do if it wasn't crazy busy.
Yep. I should share. I've got a super secret strategy. I don't know if I've shared it here or not, but it definitely helps over the Christmas period. And it's called the bigger boys. It's just, if anything goes wrong, I'm really sorry, this is a terrible thing. It's beyond my control because Etsy, the big boys, are in control of this, or somebody who isn't me is responsible for this, but I'm doing the best I can. But you and me, we're fighting the man together, kind of thing. So you just come in and you be totally, rather than you go, how dare you be mean to me, you be like, this is terrible. We are both victims of this thing that's happening to us.
Fair. Yeah, that works. You're on their side. You're commiserating with them, being like, oh, them. Us little guys are always hurt by them.
Exactly. Yes, it works much better. And generally, it's the truth. Generally, you haven't let the customer down. Etsy has, or the postal service has, or somebody else has. So,
and you're just the front man in this big war, and you just try and do the best you can.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Amanda, after a holiday, should you deactivate your listing? I have my 4th of July items still showing in searches.
I do not. So my holiday listings, my Halloween, Christmas, Easter, my Easter stuff is still up. And just yesterday, 2 days ago, someone bought an Easter item that's very specific to Easter. Like, people buy stuff year round. They're either buying for the future holiday or they're buying just because they love it. A lot of people, they are Christmas all year round, the way that I'm Halloween all year round. You can't really tell, but the walls behind me, they're completely black. Every wall in my apartment is black and covered in some sort of creepy thing because I live Halloween all year round. So if you remove your items, you are actually removing it from people that might buy it. The second biggest Christmas shopping time I find is the first and second week of January. So people that remove their listings, they're losing out on everybody who received gift cards during the holidays. And so removing your listings doesn't necessarily help. Having a listing just sit there, it costs you 60 cents to have your listing up all year. Whether it's even if it doesn't sell, it costs you 60 cents to have it up all year round. So there's really no benefit to bring it down unless you want to relaunch it with a collection the following year. Then you want to drop it like 6 months before the holiday. But otherwise, you might as well just leave it. Well, how do you feel about that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not hurting you at all. As you're saying, you've answered your question, kind of. People are already seeing your 4th of July stuff, still in searches. But it's not hurting you because those listings, if nobody's searching for that kind of thing, they're not getting seen. If anyone's searching for it, you might be one of the only shops with a thing for that holiday. And then through the year, Etsy will be kind of going, oh, hang on, Bryan's shop was really good for this holiday. Bryan's shop's great for Easter. They've already got some stats that Bryan's shop's great for Easter. So that's a cool thing. And yes, Halloween and Christmas all year round, absolutely.
And July 4th is one of those types of holidays, unless it specifically says July 4th on it. July 4th is generally very Americana. You have a lot of American flags, you have a lot of fireworks, you have just a lot of that type of thing. So that stuff, people are searching for that stuff all year round, and they might type July 4th because that's when they know all the Americana comes out. So they might be, with the election coming up in 2 months, they might be looking for just American items, and July 4th is a great time to find all those items. So they might be searching for that.
It's true. It might not be specific for July the 4th. And bear in mind that America's not the only country that has an Independence Day.
A lot of people got out of the UK. A lot of countries, they're like, we don't want to be part of you, so we're going to do our own thing here.
Everyone apart from Scotland got an Independence Day. No, but not just that. Things like Mother's Day or Father's Day are at different times in certain countries.
Yep.
So you can definitely, Mother's Day's earlier in the UK. I think Father's Day's later.
Australia just had Mother's Day or Father's Day.
Father's Day, yep. So you could get seen for different things like that.
But also a lot of Mother's Day and Father's Day items, they're also perfect for their birthdays, for your mother or father's birthday, or for their anniversaries, or for any other possible day that they're relevant, unless they specifically say, this is a Mother's Day card only meant for Mother's Day.
Exactly. Yes, you can repurpose them for sure. Michelle, my Christmas sales go beyond the 25th because I've customers buying for the Orthodox Christmas in January, and they wait till the last minute too. Aren't people great?
Love last minute shopping.
Yeah, I love it out in the real world. I don't love it as a seller.
That's true.
Blessed, would it be okay to add pet Christmas gifts to all of my items in my shop to get more views? If it's relevant. That's it. With any keywords, don't add them in the hope of just getting more views. But if your items are very relevant as a pet Christmas gift, and it looks like people are searching for it, which I imagine they probably are, or some variant of, I would definitely look at some of your listings and be adding some kind of giftable searches, because Etsy's gift mode is big. Probably not something like gift for her, but bearded dragon gifts, be specific. Very much, I think we're going to see more gift searches.
And again, it should be relevant. So if you're selling crochet baby hats, pet Christmas gifts might not be the best item to add that won't really, it's not really your target audience. And so you might be bringing in views for that, but you're bringing in irrelevant views. It's better to have 100 people coming in that are perfectly targeted than 1 million people that are just general and not actually caring about what you're selling.
Absolutely. One thing that I'd started doing, which can be a little bit handy, if you go into the Etsy gift mode and look at the gift personas and see what is relevant for your shop, and then click through them and see what search terms that's populating and stuff. These are potential keywords that if Etsy starts pushing that gift persona or something, it could get some searches. That's a sneak peek of potentially the future. I've already been getting some views from some of the gift personas. I can't remember which ones now, but I'll have to check some more.
Yeah, gift mode is starting to actually pick up. We're starting to actually see results from that. When it first dropped, it was like, what is this thing? Who's using it? It has it's just completely random and doesn't know what it's doing. And now it's really coming into its own, especially since gifting season is coming. They were doing all the testing, and now it's to the point where it is actually doing what it said on the box.
Exactly. And that was the point. Etsy wants this to be ready for the gifting season. So hopefully it is. So Etsy spent a lot of time and money creating and promoting this. They're going to push it at Christmas. There's no denying that's the entire
The last
point.
two investor calls, that was like a whole bunch of the slides.
Exactly. Yes. And they want to come up in February in their calls and say, this gift mode thing was well worth it. Look how great it's doing. So for it to be doing great, they're going to need to push it hard, and customers are going to need to figure out about it. So find some relevant gift terms if your items are giftable, and just about everything is giftable. I've bought some awful presents over the years, random things. So everything could be a potential gift.
Anything's a gift if you wrap it right.
Oh. Justina, someone bought a newborn Christmas hat from me with embroidered First Christmas on the 5th of January. How on earth? A newborn Christmas hat, 5th of January. That's not going to be a newborn by December. So
I mean, it could also just be that they really like the hat and they didn't do their Christmas photos yet, or they just need a hat for a baby for the winter.
Yeah, no, that's true. It probably was to be worn that year, but that is definitely random. But cool, yeah. I mean, the first Christmas thing is usually pretty big because obviously it's a special thing that extra people are buying gifts for that baby. So if you have baby things that can be first Christmas things, absolutely good.
And I mean, one advantage of that, and why something like this could also happen, is people still don't know what Etsy is. 96 million buyers are on there, but there's 300 million people in the US, or 330 million people in the US. There's 5 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. I don't know how many. So not all of them are captured yet. So there's some people that are just learning what Etsy is. If they received a gift from Etsy and someone says, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it on Etsy. Now this mother of a newborn is going on Etsy and being like, oh, what else do they have? Oh, that's really cute. And finding all those cute things. More people are learning about Etsy during the holidays just because they're receiving gifts from Etsy. So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And that will be more with Etsy's gift message and gift videos and things. Now, Etsy is kind of promoting themselves by, if you buy for someone as a gift, Etsy can email that person to say, hey, someone's bought you something that's coming, and it's coming from Etsy. So yeah, that's actually quite clever marketing. So well done, Etsy. Yes.
And just seeing this next message, same similar thing, where I never deactivated those listings. Baby Christmas hats started selling from June. Yep. Because you do have Christmas in July, and so they're prepping for that. But also, I mean, in October, in most places, it starts getting chilly. In November, it's really cold. So they want to have all of those articles of clothing that they're going to need for the holiday season, but also the winter season.
Yeah, you start thinking of it. And also, I'm just thinking a lot of people like to do their Christmas pictures for cards to send out. So you want to buy the props
Yeah.
in a little bit early.
Yeah,
So
because
that could
usually you
be
would get
another.
your photos taken in September, October to then send the card in November or early December. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Christmas is all year round, not just because there's daft people who like Christmas all year round, but people will have a Christmas celebration. Maybe like when my sister was moving to Australia, we had Christmas before she went away because she would be away when Christmas was happening. You know, plenty of people
Oh, that's cute.
just have. Yeah, so people do that. So yes,
It's
we're
true.
revoltingly cute, I guess. Yeah, or we just like eating big turkey dinners. So who knows? Oh, Linda, yeah, I've been getting emails from Etsy to buy my own items. Yes, the personalized emails are interesting for sure. They should be able to
Nothing.
scroll out our own things.
You'd think so. But even like the offsite ads, I see a lot of my products in the offsite ads because I look at my own shop. And so it thinks that
Yeah,
I'm interested in those items. So it's showing me my items for purchase. And it's like, oh, that doesn't help.
yeah, it should know better, but it's true. Well, at least you, in a way, you are your own target market, so it's good that it's
That's true.
found you. Yep.
That does make it
Um,
a lot easier to find my target audience is I'm part of them.
Yes, that is what anyone saying. What should I sell on each Etsy? The easiest niche is what you're passionate about,
Yep. You
because
know
then
how to
you don't need
describe it best. You're already in all of the Facebook groups. You already know the language and the voice that all those people speak in or that they listen to. And so it's just so much easier if you are part of that group. It's easier to sell newborn clothes if you've had a newborn or you currently have a newborn because you're speaking the same language. You have the props already around you to take photos. You already have the newborn to take photos. You already have all of the things because you are your target audience. It's one of the biggest piece of advice I give is be your audience and you know your audience.
Yeah, you just reminded me there. I was thinking, myself and a load of my friends used to go to this Gothic festival in Whitby, which is the best place for Gothic things. And you could tell the stall owners that were people who were just trying to cash in on the Gothics. Um, like people just stood there randomly in their underwear trying to sell you rubbish things, and you're looking like, you don't know anything about this.
True.
No, you don't fit in. We don't want to talk to you. I think this is a good comment for us to finish on. Anything is giftable. Reminded of night. I'd like, and guys, you can talk about Nightmare Before Christmas anytime you want on here. And
Just
Nightmare
not on
Before
Etsy.
Christmas.
That's Disney and they don't like that.
That was confessions, guys. One of my first things I ever sold was a Nightmare Before Christmas thing. I shouldn't sell. I shouldn't have done that. I learned, but we all make mistakes. Yes, but guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, don't forget, join the Facebook group, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, do all those kind of things, and we will
And
see
get
you
ready for Christmas.
indeed. Same time, same place, back here again. Right. See you
Next
guys.
Thursday, what is this, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 p.m. BST?
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next
Yeah.
week.
Have a great week, guys.